Welcome to the Directors Club podcast, your go-to resource for child care center owners and directors seeking success at their centers. Each week, we dive into the world of child care management, sharing valuable tips, tools, resources, and strategies to help you build enrollment, retain top teachers, and streamline your operations. With a casual and lighthearted approach, we tackle the challenges you face from staffing and enrollment to business skills and time management. Join us as we unlock the secrets to creating a thriving child care center. Let's laugh, learn, and grow together. This is the Directors Club podcast. Welcome to the Directors Club podcast, the podcast that helps you learn the business skills you need as a child care center director to build enrollment, retain your best teachers, and get your center operating just how you want it. I'm Noelle Dentino. I'm a fellow child care center owner and active director with my sister Sarah. We operate a successful child care center in Massachusetts. By merging my background in business with Sarah's background in early education, we found the perfect recipe for a successful center. The Directors Club podcast will provide you with simple business tips to help you get things done at your child care center. Episode number 13, Monthly Observations. Hey there, my friends. It's Noelle, and I hope your week is going well. Mine is going pretty good. I love the start of this school year, and now we're about a month in. We are starting to see the progression of the kids, and they're getting more comfortable in their classrooms, and I love seeing all of the activity going on and the curriculum and the friendships and the relationships building, and it's pretty fun getting to know their personalities. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a process that gets my child care center operating just how I want it and pretty consistently. It's called the monthly observation, and it is a checklist of what the expectations are for each classroom every month. I use the checklist and I go from classroom to classroom and complete it. And if you transition this piece of the operation of your child care center to someone else, maybe you have the assistant director do these or another office leadership person, and make sure that you actually do the observations first and then show them how to do them. Because sometimes with newer leaders, they are either super harsh and really critical because they think that's the goal of it sometimes. And then other leaders will just, they didn't do it 3 or 4 times, but they did it. So that's not a yes. It's the answers to the questions are yes or no. And there's nothing wrong with getting a bad answer, because that's just where we can improve and mentor our team. If you would like a copy of my monthly observation download, you can grab one. Just head over to my website at www.thedirectorsclub.net. On my blog, you'll find monthly observations. I posted it in October. So you can just go to that blog and feel free to download that document. All right. So we are on the monthly observation form. It just is your expectations of what you want your center to look like, to operate, and to do. I divide mine into 4 sections. Now, I do have a lot more on mine, but this is just like a general one that most centers could begin implementing. The 4 sections, the first is general classroom and safety. The second, a learning center's material and schedule. The third is environment. And the 4th is classroom management. Most of the checklists will be consistent, right? From your infant room all the way up through, let's say, pre-K or school age. And there could be a few things that are a little bit different. Maybe in the younger rooms, you don't require teachers making activities or manipulatives or whatnot, but maybe in pre-K you do. You might want to add that on here. Or maybe they have a special layout in the room and you need to add something different to the checklist. You can easily adjust the sections and make them however that work the best for your child care center. Under general observation, section 1, general classroom and safety, you could put things on there. Has the classroom been clean and clutter free? During the month, I print this out and I leave them in a folder. I'll just jot notes quick on it all month, handwritten. That's not the copy I give them. And so that you can remember that if an issue came up or if something really great came up that you want. Do you have a note that says, oh, maybe a couple of times, like we've had a few classrooms that just like the toys are everywhere and then they go outside and maybe people have to walk through the room and it's like Crazyville and they're not even in there. Or another item on this section could be the cleaning checklist accurate, and are they getting updated accordingly? Like, are people signing off on them? And then when you go look inside the centers, someone said, oh, I cleaned the dramatic play, and then you go in there and it's filthy, that doesn't make sense. This is where I would document something like the fire exit's clear. Is anything in need of massive repair that you don't know of? And are the classrooms, all the required signs posted, safety, allergy, like all that. And then I write a note of overall how I felt the general classroom and safety was based on my yes or no answer. And then I move on to the second section, which is learning centers, material, and schedule. And then here you could put are there enough age-appropriate learning materials for all students? Is the daily schedule being followed and adjusted if needed? That's something I'm paying attention to all month. Was the classroom needing to mix things up a little bit because the kids are struggling and the teachers just aren't doing it, even though we're talking about it? Or are they doing it and they adjusted this schedule based on the kids all on their own and it's going phenomenal? I want to praise them here in this section. And I also want to talk about the curriculum. Is it being planned and followed accordingly? Are deadlines being met and whatnot? The third section is the environment. And in this section, for me, I like to know about the overall environment in the classroom, not physical, but mental, social, all that. Are the students being spoken to in a positive, kind, and respectful manner by the teachers? Or the teachers screaming the kids' names across the room when they want them to stop doing something? Are the teachers following child guidance policies according to standards? Are the teachers encouraging the students to reach goals using social emotional standards? And then I'm writing a note on this section. And then the fourth section would be classroom management. And are the student observations up to date? Is the classroom atmosphere positive? Is the leader encouraging? Is the leader able to make good decisions, consistently follow policies, and encourage the team? And are deadlines being met? So this is what we go through. And as you build yours, think about, what do you want? How do you want your center to operate? This will show your staff, when you show this to them, what you want to see. It really sets expectations of how things need to get done and how you envision your child care center. Because inside right now, you have a group of people, and yes, we're all passionate about early education, or most of us are, right? But how that plays out in the classroom for me is probably really different than for you. And so if everyone's doing things different and every environment is so different and not going the way that you want it to go, then this is a great tool for you to introduce and help your team know expectations and really celebrate the successes that you can have. I think that's really encouraging when it comes to this. You can also take this, and each question is a point, and maybe you have 20, 30, 40 things on the checklist each month. How many are they getting out of that? You could set a goal. Whoever gets over 90% gets put in a raffle, and maybe somebody gets a gift or a free day off or a couple hours off or gets to leave early. You could celebrate with things this way. It's also easier for you to lead the center if you have a document like this that does set expectations. Now people know what you want, and most people want to do the right thing and achieve. And it really, for those of you that struggle speaking to your staff and correcting them, or you're like burnt out because you're sick of saying it. Oh my gosh, I just remember a time, end of day, these two teachers never would put small group out at the end of the day. They would have dance parties, and it was like crazyville, and they were always crying. They were stressed, and we were like, put the small toys out. That went on the observation form and the closing checklist. It went there. If you're interested in implementing something like the monthly observation, there's 7 steps you can take that you can roll it out. The first would be to determine what your observation checklist looks like. You can obviously download the one I just told you about on my website, thedirectorsclub.net, right on the blog, monthly observation. You can just sit there and think of what areas what's important to you. I will tell you, at the bottom of mine, I have a list of all the learning centers. And then I want to know, how are they look? Are they clean? Is there enough age appropriate materials in them? That's what I'm looking at, that for every that we have. And so just sit and go through it. Now, this isn't, oh, I'm doing the monthly observation now, then you don't get to change it. This is a working document. I have been using this document for probably like 15 years. We've been using it forever, and it has evolved over time, and yours will too. You can also ask somebody in your center to help you either brainstorm with you or review it or create it for you. Second step would be to introduce it to the team, and a great place to do that is at a staff meeting. Explain to them that you are systematizing your childcare center. This is a checklist of things that you look for in your leadership, and you're just sharing it with them. And it's just expectations that every classroom should meet, and that you're going to help and mentor them as they work towards these. And part that your team's doing most of this stuff. And you can talk about celebrating when they do. Maybe you run a contest or something. Oh, the first team to hit 3 gets a pizza lunch or something like that. The third section you're going to take is, and then number 3 is complete the observations each month. Now, if you're going to put in this system, and you're going to put the time into it, and you're going to announce it at a staff meeting, you can't just do it for January, February, and March and then skip a couple months and then get back to it. This has to be done consistently, because if you want them to be consistent in your classrooms, you have to be consistent with this. The fourth step is to share the results to the room. So every month we have a lead meeting with the teacher in the room, and this is reviewed with them. You're going to celebrate the successes, hold contests. It really motivates them to want to do this. You can celebrate the successes at a staff meeting. You can celebrate one-on-one. There could be something on here. You're not going to say one of the teachers was really struggling with the daily schedule, and she just refused to change it and finally gave in with your support and adjusted it and saw the success, and she's consistently doing it. That's a celebration. She learned something. She learned a new technique of classroom management. She was struggling or failing at something, and now she's succeeding and thriving. And now so are the kids. There's a lot to celebrate when you see improvement from one of these monthly observations. The sixth thing is on the opposite end of it. Mentor those who need the improvement. So you're going to have staff that just are consistently not going to meet it, and you're going to have to address that. And areas that can be in areas that they are weak in, those could be things that you do trainings on at staff meetings that can add to the staff meeting, or you can just mentor them one-on-one. And then the seventh and final is every few months review to see if the checklist needs to be updated. Does your form need to be updated, or is it just as is? And if it needs to be updated, don't wait. Just do it and tell the team that. Oh, do we need to change things? When you're having your lead meeting, something maybe they want a goal to grow. The monthly observation is a vision of how you want things done at your child care center. Tied it to celebrations and rewards or mentorship, and you can have a plan to get things operating exactly how you want it at your child care center. This is also a great tool to take some of the stress off you of having to consistently repeat things. to the staff because they're under the observation and they want to see success too. The monthly observation form is something that we really have. It's a tool that I can walk into the office as a director that isn't in the office every day, because I do get to spend some time working on the Directors Club. And when I come in, I'm not in the classrooms all the time. I'm obviously around all the time, but not in them. And I can open up the monthly observation binder and read exactly what's going on in every classroom in my center, and even know, oh, I see that. Yep, I like that they caught that. The other day I just did this, actually. I went and did my own observation, and then I came back to the binder to see where they were at, and nailed it. I was worried about a couple of things, and they caught it, and I liked how they addressed it. They always talk about how they're going to address certain things, so they did a great job. So I hope that you learned something from this, maybe a new tool that you can use at your child care center, or if you already do something similar, maybe you can update yours, give it another look, or maybe even incent the team to want to really improve and thrive on the monthly observation and do a contest or something. I want to thank you for being here on the podcast with us. If you could take a minute and go rate the podcast and let me know how we're doing. I'd also love if you leave me a comment and let me know if we're hitting the targets that you want to hear. I want to know if you think we're talking about the topics you want to talk about. If you have any ideas or suggestions, you just let me know. And connect with me. You can get your monthly observation right from my website at thedirectorsclub.net. I also have a private Facebook group called Child Care Center Owners and Directors. You can meet me there and ask to join. And I appreciate you listening, and I look forward to connecting with you next week. Have an awesome week, my friends. Are you struggling to find qualified teachers for your child care center? Or do you worry that current teachers might leave you? This message is for you then. As a fellow child care center director, I know the stresses. Everyone's working longer hours, you're in the classroom more than the office, and COVID has changed a few things. And we all know we need to find help, and we just can't do it. My name's Noelle Dentino, and I have the retention recipe that you need. My digital course teaches best hiring and retention practices that anyone can implement. Learn to create the perfect job ad, market it, properly interview candidates, onboard them with success, and best of all, keep them on your team for years to come. My center in Massachusetts is proof. 75% of my team have been together for more than 9 years. Employee survey results have never been higher. And other directors in my area contact me to see if I have any candidates that I can't hire. The retention recipe works. Stop stressing and find your next great teacher. Go to theretentionrecipe.com and you can put your job ad up now. Mention coupon code PODCAST100 and get $100 off the digital course. I can't wait to help you hire your next great teacher. Thank you for joining us on today's episode of the Directors Club. We hope you found tips, tools, and strategies valuable for your child care center. To access even more resources and take your center to new heights, visit our website at thedirectorsclub.net. There you'll find a wealth of exclusive content, training programs, and support tailored specifically to child care center owners and directors. Don't miss out on this opportunity to unlock your center's full potential. Remember, success starts here at the Directors Club.